Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new box office breakdown show here at Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Dinenberg. Today, I am breaking down the box office of this past weekend, which was April the 17th to the 19th, 2026. We'll also look at the overall numbers worldwide and domestic so far this year, and look ahead to what movies are hitting theaters this weekend. So, welcome back, everyone, to Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Berg. Let's get started talking about the domestic, box office of this past weekend, which I said was the 17th to 19th, 2026. And at number one, once again, is the Super Mario Galaxy movie in its third weekend, again from Universal and Illumination, dropping 46.5% in its third week, and another 36.4 million for Super Mario is up to 356 million domestic, 750 worldwide. So it's now just over 200 million away to join the billion-dollar club. And I gotta be honest, I don't really know and think it's going to be able to get there now. Super Mario is doing very well here in the United States. The biggest issue for the Super Mario movie, Galaxy movie, is it's trailing the last movie internationally. This film was a juggernaut, the first film, internationally, which led to hitting around $1.3 billion. And over, I think if I'm not mistaken, like 700 of that came from international box office. It really had like a 60-40 split of its international and domestic share. This time around, the movie has a 52% to 47% share of that box office, which means it's a lot more condensed and it's losing a lot of money, just not doing as well internationally. So this is going to be certainly a wake-up call for Universal, Nintendo, and Illumination. Again, Illumination still has the Minions 3 coming out later this year. But from Nintendo's perspective, they definitely did not make as successful movie. Now, again, this movie cost like $110 million to make. So again, this movie is swimming in money, but it's not going to probably get to $1 billion. It'll probably get to at least $900 million, which is very similar to what happened to an earlier Illumination franchise, the Minions, right? The first Minions movie in 2015 made $1 billion, but the second film, which came out, I think it was 2022 or 2023, that movie made $950 million. So I think this is going to be a very similar track. We'll obviously how Minions 3 does later in the summer. But again, not as successful, but still, this is not like an embarrassment for Nintendo or anything like that, but certainly a disappointment as pertains to getting back both movies into the billion-dollar club. Project Hail Mary still riding strong from Amazon MGM in its fifth weekend, dropping only 15%, another 20 million for Project Hail Mary. It is up to $285 million domestically, $573 million worldwide. This movie, even though technically right now it's right below its break-even point, this will go down its success. The fact that over a month out from its release, it is still making $20 million at the domestic box office is really awesome for this film. It stayed in the cultural zeitgeist. I feel like I see new articles about this movie every single week. Now, again, a very similar problem to Super Mario Galaxy is this movie also is not doing amazing internationally. This movie has a 100% 50-50 split of its international and domestic total, 288 international, 285 domestic. So again, if this movie was a bigger hit overseas, this movie could probably get to around 700, 800 million. With this, it's probably going to hang around that $600 million mark. But again, that's right around its break-even point. It's going to be a big hit on digital. And again, I think this movie will be a major focus in awards season later this year. At number three was the only big movie that opened wide this past weekend, which was Lee Cronin's The Mummy, which is from Warner Brothers, opening to 13.5 million domestic, $34 million is its worldwide opening weekend. The movie only has a budget of $22 million. So again, this movie is going to make back its budget in theaters here. And once again, horror continues to work its magic. Even when there's movies that it feels like no one is talking about, they sometimes will sit in that $10 to $15 million range. And again, for very cheap horror movies, this is a pretty solid opener. Now, again, no one's really talking about this movie. But what also has helped is that there's really no competition from horror movies in the multiplex. They're really all family movies. Super Mario, Project Hail Mary, You, Me, and Tuscany, Hoppers, Even like that BTS concert movie. All these movies are more for families. So if anyone wanted to get their scare on this past weekend, they went to go see Lee Cronin's The Mummy. So that's a very good sign for Warner Brothers. At number four this past weekend is A24's The Drama, which is in its third weekend. $4.8 million. That's a 43% drop. 39 million domestic for the drama. $82.9 million right now for the drama worldwide. Now, again, it's trying to become the fifth movie in A24's history to get to $100 million worldwide. You have Everything Everywhere All at Once. You have Materialists. You have Civil War, and you have Marty Supreme are the four A24 movies to gross 100 million worldwide. Again, this movie is around $17 million short of that. We'll see. I probably will not get there, but still, really good numbers for the Materialists. Clearly, sorry, not Materialists, for the drama. Clearly, Zendaya and Pattinson are bankable enough stars here to get another film like this made. But the thing is, for them, very important as both of them are kind of running down their final days of being those big blockbusters. Zendaya is probably going to be done with Spider-Man and Dune and Euphoria, obviously, very soon. Pattinson, who knows how much longer he's going to be playing Batman for. So I think this helps both their careers outside of those comic book major properties. And wrapping up the top five this past weekend is You, Me, and Tuscany from Universal in its second weekend, dropping 49.7%. 3.8 million for this past weekend. It's up to 14 domestically, 16 worldwide. Again, guys, even though it's in the top five, this movie is just not making tons of money here. 16 million in 2 weekends, not great. Continues to show why movie studios these days are putting all of their money on rom-coms in streaming services, not in theaters. Let's look at the domestic box office, guys. So far this year, Super Mario number one. Project Hail Mary, $15 million away from joining Super Mario in that $300 million club here in the United States and Canada. Hopper's at 3, Scream 7 at 5, Goat is at 6, Wuthering Heights at 8, and Send Help at number 10. Looking at the worldwide numbers so far this year, Super Mario, again, sitting at $750 million worldwide. So it is 250 away from getting to the billion-dollar club. More likely won't get there. More likely, as I said earlier, into that $900 million club. It finally passes Pegasus 3. So finally, an American movie is now number one at the worldwide box office. Project Hail Mary at 3, Hoppers at 4, Wuthering Heights at 5, Scream 7 at 6, you have Goat at 8, and earlier this year's Duranda Hardy Revenge wrapping up at number 10. So multiple movies are hitting theaters this weekend, but the biggest by far is Lionsgate's Michael. This is the Michael Jackson music biopic movie. I'm filming this on Monday afternoon, and the critic scores are horrendous for the movie. It has a 25% right now on Rotten Tomatoes. So I don't think that number will affect its opening weekend. I think people who want to see a Michael Jackson biopic will come see the movie opening weekend. The question is, will Michael be able to do repeat business in theaters if the movie truly isn't living up to the hype? We shall see. Lionsgate has put a lot into this movie. They would like to make a part 2 as well. So we will see what happens with Michael. It's definitely one of those big headline movies that we haven't gotten in a while. It's coming out this weekend. Also, that movie that I said last week, Mother Mary, starring Anne Hathaway, the A24 film, it came out in limited release last week. It's going wide this weekend. So that's another big movie hitting theaters this weekend. And that basically takes us out in the month of April here, because the next Friday it is May 1st. So I'm not going to preview May yet until next week here on the channel. So again, guys, tons of videos are hitting the channel as per usual. I have my Mall breakdown, Invincible breakdown for the finale this week, Daredevil breakdown this week as well, Euphoria as always. Plus, I'm going to go see Mother Mary and Michael this week. So those out-of-theater reactions and reviews will hit the channel. So please subscribe if you are new, like the video. Comment down below your thoughts, and I'll see you guys in another video very soon.